What's up, good people? It's your boy Hoon Boom, and this is another segment of the Hold Up Show. And today, I just wanted to tap in the morning. No, still got on the same shit from yesterday. I was at a little draft, NFL draft get together last night. Just was looking to see what Howie did or was going to do with that last pick. You know, it was a little grueling to wait that long, being as though we were number 32. And, you know, me personally, I was expecting a surprise. I wanted the Giants not to draft Abdul from Penn State. I was hoping that, you know, he did enough Eagles talk to not, you know, to discourage the Giants from picking him. Obviously, they said, hell to the no. We already gifted the Eagles Saquon. We are not about to gift them a chance to get you as well, even though you're confessing your undying love to the Eagles and all that good shit. So, yeah, I was hoping that, you know, the rumors about A.J. Brown and some draft compensation for the fourth overall pick from the Patriots, for the Eagles to have the opportunity to draft Abdul, I believe it's Abdul Carter. Don't quote me. But it didn't happen. It wasn't too many surprises other than Shador Sanders falling out of the first. I really thought that if the Saints didn't grab him up, that maybe the Raiders, or maybe the Steelers, or maybe when the Giants traded back into the first round, that they were coming to grab him. But instead they grabbed this Jackson something fella. I don't know, because I'm not really familiar with college football, because it's like 3,000 teams, and I just can't get into it. Like, show me when you get to the elite level where everybody was somebody where they were at, and you got to rise above the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? But it was one thing that I like to comment about watching the draft. Is like another thing that I like about the draft, and it's like it has become more of a thing the older I get. I love to see people accomplishing their goals. I love to see the emotions flow out of people and their support system when someone hears their name called, and the hugs and the tears and the remembrance of sacrifice, because these guys or girls, whoever, you know, this with any draft, you know, WNBA, NBA, NFL, whatever, right? Whatever has a draft. I don't watch them all, but I'm just saying, these people that were kids put in a lot of work, put in a lot of nights, a lot of extra practices, a lot of things that you and I, or the average person that might not be there for their grind or know their full story, is able to see. And when all that work pays off, it just it fills my heart with, you know, just appreciation for them reaching that goal, even though the goal really just started, because it don't stop that you now got here. You have to prove that you belong here and you're going to stay here and make a staple. But you can always look back on your life and say, hey, I set a goal, I accomplished it, and the world got to see it. And I just love that. I just love that, right? Also, the surprise of the night for me, for my team, we drafted a linebacker in the first round. Like, that's insane, right? But if you look at his tape, I feel as though like they could probably view him as somebody who could be another Nolan Smith type, you know, a stand-up linebacker that can drop back into coverage and read defenses and things like that. So is he really a linebacker, or did they get a linebacker slash edge-esque type player, right? And you know, from looking at some of his highlights and some of the things that he did in college, I can see why they were willing to make that investment. And for whatever reason, Howie was willing to give up a fifth just to move up one more pick. But if you were giving up the fifth to move up one more pick, who was also calling the Chiefs to try to jump in ahead of you and get this guy, right? But you found your guy. You got it. Trusting in you, Howie. Great surprise, us drafting a linebacker in the first round. I don't think I've ever seen it in my lifetime. I think the highest linebacker I seen drafted was what's his name? He went in the second round. Gosh, he was pretty good too. I think he was his last year on the team was when we won in 2017. But he was pretty good. I think he ended up going to jail for fraud or something like that. Like he was frauding the NFL out of like insurance claims or something like that. Don't quote me, but that's the individual that I'm talking about. Also, you know, that's all I really got as far as, you know, the draft. Had a good night with my peoples. A lot of laughs, a lot of, you know, a lot of chopping it up. Just feeling good, right? Just absorbing those positive electrons, and hopefully I was giving them back as well. NBA playoffs. It seems like the NBA playoffs has turned into, or the NBA these last couple of months has turned into WWE, or like everybody's tough now. And it's like, I know you're like, maybe the ratings were down and they were like telling them like allow them to get a little testy, allow them to show that emotions. It seems like between Draymond, Dylan Brooks, Amin Thompson, I don't know who's more flagrant out there. Just, it don't even look like basketball. It just look like some fuck shit going on, right? And then it's like somebody that they normally consider soft or whatever, which I don't all the way agree with, but I can see why they say it. Cat out there trying to look tough, and he's not pushing on the tough guy on the team because the tough guy on the team didn't play that night. And it was just like, you getting tough now, bro? Like, I don't know. Maybe he wanted to, you know, show that bodega energy being in New York. But I'm just not with it, right? All the ridiculously hard fouls, I'm not with it. Like with Ja Morant, the fall he took last night, and now it looked like he out. The fall Jimmy Butler took because of Amin Thompson, I didn't like. Like, these people, I don't care it's the playoffs. Suspend these people. Like, suspend these people. Like, that is not basketball, right? Like, you could be tough without being flagrant. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, things are kind of going as expected. The dominant teams are dominating, and the ones that you thought, like I guess like the Bucks and Indiana series is not going the way necessarily people thought it would, but still a lot of basketball left to be played, right? So also want to send some love to Gilbert Arenas and his son. He was in a bad car accident, and they were saying he was in some sort of induced coma. But Gilbert has recently came out this morning saying that he's going to be fine. He's going to, recover, and everything will be fine with him. And prayers to them, and that's great news to hear. So sending that love to them. Shout out to him. Then we go to this Shannon Sharpe situation, which I was really not trying to touch on because I just don't have all the messiness of it in order to some degree. But just like the quick rundown, the shady lawyer who I thought was on the right side of things as far as trying to expose celebrity predators and the things that they do is really starting to look like an ambulance chaser or a settlement type of guy that's just looking to get some type of settlement to expose some type of celebrity in a way or whatever. And for whatever reason, Shannon Sharpe is now the target, right? And it almost seemed in a way like when Stephen A was going through his negotiations and you was hearing $100 million or, 9-figure deal with network or something to that nature, that they were trying to poke at him. They were trying to bring up some him and Molly situation or whatever, right? And it just seemed like it didn't go nowhere. Nothing could really stick, and I am proud of that. I have not always agreed with Stephen A and his stances on things or the approaches he takes on certain things, but looking now, I see that he probably has his reasons of how he does things and why he's done things the way he's done them for this long, and continue to be successful, continue to be scandal free, and continue to be out of negative spotlights, right? So with that being said, whatever is going on with Shannon Sharpe, as far as whoever wants to see him fall, because in a sense, they say when you're up at those levels, they use your vices against you. Like they know your vices, they know what you into, and they find a way to exploit that to control you. And maybe they felt as though Shannon Sharpe's need to not be referred to as gay or have people questioning his sexuality, that he was going out of his way to prove that he's some type of, sexual beast or whatever. Like he's out here putting it down with the women or whatever. And it seems like they forced him into that energy to use it to backfire against him. I don't know his sexual preference. I don't even care. Do what you do, brother, right? Why are you out here trying to prove something to somebody that's really nobody's business, right? So now you got, and then it's like in another instance, it's like, bro, you're over 50, I understand you're rich, you probably out here having your way, you know, in regards to whatever you want sexually. And a 20-year-old, I mean, at that age, it's just that it's just too young. It's just too young. Just too young. It's just too young. It's just too young. And, you know, y'all very well could have been, you know, she could have very well been a sugar baby, and you could have been her sugar daddy, and y'all could have been very well role playing and doing all the racial type of whatever they call that in the porn world, and, you know, doing all that whatever, right? I'm pretty sure that there was something more mature and more aligned to better accommodate what you was looking for, other than this 20-year-old that is now becoming a thorn in your ass, right? It was also rumored that, you know, there's some tape that was heavily edited to make one of their role-playing experiences look away. And my thoughts is, you know, why'd you tape it? Or were you set up with the tape? Did you know there was going to be a tape? You know, do both parties have the tape? You know, you got the full version and she's putting out the edited version. I don't know, right? I just feel as though you're too high profile to be playing around like that, right? There's got to be another way you could have handled that, or you should have been on the lay low until till the deal was inked. And I don't know. I don't know. You should have not have been dealing with a 20-year-old, in my opinion, you know, or just not leaving yourself that susceptible to be portrayed in that way if you were going to do that. Also, there's a rumor going around that there's a audio recording of Matt Barnes saying that it's Shaq really behind financing the dirt being revealed on Shannon Sharpe because of some past beef or interaction that those two have. I think that's just outside of my pay grade. I'm not really into the rumors and the gossip. It is stuff being reported like that. I wouldn't know why Shaq got a problem with Shannon Sharpe. I don't know. Whatever. Those are rich people games, right? Rich people games, rich people wars that the average person doesn't have, just not privy to, right? Unless you're close to that world to some degree, right? So yeah, I guess it's going to be more to come. He's already been suspended or stepped away from First Take, ESPN, all that. I don't know if he's going to continue to do whatever he does as far as, you know, Club Shay Shay and, you know, Nightcap and all his other ventures that he does. But it really seems like ever since that Cat Williams interview, he has been a target for letting that interview ride, right? Also, it seems like, you know, this is all still fitting a very familiar narrative of they only let certain black celebrities that are not fully aligned with whatever to only get but so far. before they show the world that they have something on them to bring them down, or they have some type of control mechanism over them to humble them or put them in place, and he crossed that barrier and now someone's coming after him, or now those elite groups are trying to target him to not reach any further success. I don't know, right? I don't know. I just find it highly unlikely that a company like Disney, which owns ESPN, doesn't know everything that Shannon Sharpe was into before they ever inked him to anything, right? Because whether you know it or not, like in that kind of world, where at that level, a lot of their deals include allowance for extracurricular activities to be in a discreet manner, so they aren't put out there like that, because they can't have such a high profile person like that, you know, looking for ass on POF or Tinder or whatever people use to be looking up for online dating and stuff like that, right? So they probably have some sort of backdoor network escort situation, but I have heard of some crazy incentives in some of these higher executives and more higher profile people's deals, that they give them allowances or give them certain things to not have to be caught up in certain situations like that, right? Among other incentives that we don't know about that are like, really, you getting extra money, you know, for that? Like, you know, you got a lifetime supply of Skittles in your contract, or, you know, some shit like that, right? You never know what people negotiate, right? It's not what you're worth, it's what you negotiate, right? And then with this Kanye situation, we don't know if it's true, we don't know if it's not, we don't know if he's trolling, we don't know what Kanye is up to. I did a video about 50 Cent being an agent of chaos. You know, Mind of a Survivor Part 2. Please check it out. Look at it. Check out both Part 1 and Part 2 just to get where I was coming from with that, and just trying to look at all angles or of things that, you know, be going on or whatever. But it's starting to seem like Kanye West is their assigned agent of chaos. Whenever they need some sort of distraction from some other something, here he comes saying something outlandish, wearing something outlandish, or both, right? So apparently he released some Hitler song or something to that nature, and he revealed he was doing extracurricular activities with his cousin and this, that, and the third, blah, 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 right? I don't know. I guess we care because of the shock value of it, but, you know, some of the things he said after he did, like, can I now say derogatory terms about gay people because now y'all calling me gay, and so does that make the playing field even now? Or if I wear Nazi stuff, you know, does that now allow me to disrespect you know, people of a certain faith in a way that aligns with what I'm representing, without it looking like I'm just trying to target certain, like, it seems like he's trying to show that he's trying to show us people in the world not to be afraid of anything, right? This is sort of the message that I'm getting from that, of being fearless, right? Being unapologetic, you know, pushing the boundaries, right? Whatever they say is a boundary, let me show you that that is not a boundary, right? Like, God didn't, you know, that's none of God's boundaries. Those are man's boundaries, from them being in their feelings or whatever, because they have certain controlling powers or whatever, you know. That's what I'm kind of getting from that. But if that really is his truth, you know, God bless you, brother. If you needed to get it off your chest and do whatever you need to do for you to feel better about you, and to also have more freedom to try to disrespect other races or other ethnicity, other faiths, or other groups of people that are being classified as such. It's your life, brother. It's your life. Salute to you, right? So yeah, that's pretty much all I have right now. You know, your boy's about to go to the gym. You know, relieve some stress, work on my body. You know, before the day gets too hot, it's supposed to be another beautiful 80-degree day. You know, I did my sun gazing just now. You know, watched it come up, and got some good vibes from it. Watch solar plexus chakra video. Watched a root chakra video. Got some very good vibes from those frequencies, as far as like feeling as though that it had a positive effect on my mood and how I'm feeling today. So I'm appreciative of that. You know, shout out to the little Indian girl. You know who you are. Shout out to my brother Philzy. You know who you are, and your lady. Just shout out to people that are able to have those deeper conversations, to are people that have supported me on this journey and reached out and had conversations with me, and didn't portray me or view me as though, you know, I may be talking crazy or whatever the case may be, or, you know, whatever the narrative is. They understand that, you know, they understand that I had some sort of conversation with God or divine spirit, that, you know, he's guiding me in another direction, and you know, they say God reveals your enemies to you before he blesses you. So hopefully, you know, he will continue blessing me, because I am extremely grateful for everything that I've already have. I am extremely grateful for the people that are still and remain in my life at this stage of my life, even though I have been secluded or isolated, or my hermit mode, you know, addressing my demons and past traumas and things of that nature, right? Rediscovering faith, finally walking towards God, how he has given me the opportunity to walk towards him. Yeah, I just want to shout out those people and appreciate y'all, you know, for even listening and giving feedback and all that good stuff. Like, it's all been very supportive. It's all been very helpful, regardless if you feel as though it hasn't or it has not been. Jeez, nose itching. That's, you know, shout out to the ancestors, right? Yeah, you know, this is my new message for people, you know. Do what makes you feel good. Do what frees your heart. Do what progresses you. Live in the moment. A lot of us forget to live in the moment. I had people tell me that they were proud of me, that they see me change and better myself, and maybe they had a thought or perception of who I was, but or who I was going to be at younger stages of my life, when I was a little more immature and a little more reckless or purposeless to some degree. And you know, this is even before I got to this ascension stage or awakening in my life. You know, that they were telling me, you know, that they were proud of me and proud of the directions that I went from the outside looking in. But I realized, like, you know, I felt uncomfortable with them telling me that, because I never stopped to appreciate the things that I did get to accomplish, because I was feeling like I didn't accomplish anything yet, right? And I just want people to live in the moment, like when you know, and recognize all the small and the big wins. You know, give gratefulness and give appreciation for those things, because if you don't acknowledge them, you know, it's almost like you would let it pass you by, like you wouldn't even get the chance to appreciate and just be in that moment. Like almost like with the draft, like these kids worked, you know, 15 years of their life trying to get to this moment, and it's like you're like, give me the playbook, and you're ready to just dive right in, but you didn't take the time to just, I did it. You know, I accomplished the goal. I feel good. I know this is not it, but I accomplished this goal. Let me, at least for this night or this day, be celebratory and appreciate that I accomplished this goal, and that I was guided and I was looked after and I was supported to reach a certain goal or a certain path in life, right? And then go on to set up the next goal and things like that. And I think I was just moving so fast trying to accomplish so much at one time that I never stopped and smelled the roses, sort of say, of the things that I did accomplish. And yeah, now that I look back from, you know, stages of my life of where I came from, as far as like where I was at mentally, where I was at in terms of resources and relationships that I had with people, all that, like all the stages that I never appreciated because I felt as though like I didn't do anything at the time that needed me to stop and be celebratory about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I want people to be more appreciative of the small wins and the big wins, because they are, at the end of the day, wins, right? So yeah, I'm about to go get sweaty for a while, give my body the attention that it needs on building. Then I'll probably go grab a little bite and shoot back over here, I guess in another part of the park, and you know, reflect on some other things that, you know, maybe I didn't address yet, or further do a deeper dive into. maybe even do the story time on this, you know, last child of mine that, you know, this certain individual, you know, just that whole scenario, you know, it'll be another probably wild ride. You know, I won't get too detailed, too graphic, but it'll, you know, it'll be like another watch out moment for people. Like, you know, try to pay attention to the signs, or try to take your time when building something with someone else, or, you know, how to just further do a deep dive into who you're actually dealing with, because people will put up the representative of who they are for as long as they can. You know, that representative you just met a mask for as long as they can, until you get them in a certain environment or around people who really know them, and that person just literally rips that mask off of them without you even without them even knowing, without you being aware that there was even a mask on, right? So yeah, you know, hopefully if I'm up to it, or want to dive into that today, I'll probably do that a little later on this afternoon. Or if not, if something else comes to me that I want to talk about on a deeper level, then I'll go there, right? So yeah, pay attention to your chakras, pay attention to your environment, pay attention to who uplifts you and who doesn't. Um, Pay attention to the direction you're trying to go and the person you're trying to be versus the person that you don't want to be, or that you no longer are. Just, you know, expand on that, you know, and live in the moment. Be present, you know. You know, take a deep breath, you know, appreciate your scenery, appreciate the lessons that you've been taught and how far you've come, because we all have a journey, we all have a path, and we all made it in our own way, right? And we all have an ultimate goal that will get us where we need to go to be happy in our own way, right? So it's your boy Home Boom. You see me out and about, shout me out. But this is the Hold Up Show. Peace.